Good afternoon and welcome back to Teacher Tip Tuesday. I'm Clara Galan, Content Marketing Manager and former teacher here at Remind, and I'd like to thank you for joining us for our 17th Teacher Tip Tuesday and special for Teacher Appreciation Day. So thank you so much, teachers, for all that you do. So for those of you who are just tuning in, Teacher Tip Tuesday is a 5-minute professional development series in which we interview educators from around the world to discuss innovative and creative classroom practices and communication strategies and share their ideas with the global professional learning network. So today I'm really excited to be joined by Karen Lirenman, who is a first grade teacher at Woodward Hill Elementary School in Surrey in British Columbia, Canada. So hi Karen, thanks again so much for joining us.
Hi Claire, it's an honor to be here today.
So I'm sure we'd love to learn a little bit more about you. How long have you been teaching at your school?
I'm actually new in my school. This is my second year at my school that I'm at now. Um, this is my second year at my school, and I've been teaching. This is my 23rd year of teaching. So I made a big move after 18 years at one school. So now I'm in my new school. So I've only been here for 2 years so far.
That's such a huge transition after so many years of teaching in another school. So how has the transition been? How's your class going?
It's really great. The building that I'm in now is actually a brand new, I guess it's about 5 years old, and it's a gold standard green school, and so very environmentally friendly school and a very high-tech school, which is really kind of works with me quite well. So it's been great. And I mean, little things I take for granted, like skylights now I have in my classroom and big bright windows, and yeah, it's a great building to work in, and it's a great staff to be here with.
That sounds amazing, and I know that can make a huge difference, especially having access to all those things. So, like speaking of technology, what's one innovative practice or strategy that you've been trying out with your students lately?
My students and I have really jumped onto the Twitter bandwagon, and everyone kind of goes, Twitter in grade 1 and grade 2, are you crazy? But we do certain things, like this week in math we're doing data collection, and instead of, yes, we made surveys and we asked our classmates, we asked other kids in the school, we actually tweeted out our information, and so the next day we had responses from all over the world, which was sort of blew my kids away, but it was a really great way to learn our math. The other thing we do every week is we use Twitter. We have a hashtag called class kindness. And so at the end of every week, because we have a big focus in our class to be kind to each other, we try to solve our problems through kindness. And so at the end of every week, we actually tweet to a hashtag called class kindness. And we'd love to have other kids join us, but it's one way that we use Twitter to learn. And we have our Twitter feed like on our class blog, so the parents can see all the things that we're doing. We use it for many, many things. And I think people don't realize how much a potential just using that tool of Twitter is. And even if it's done at the class level versus the kid level, how powerful it can be as a tool for learning.
That sounds amazing, and it's so great because kids are getting, real-world experience and building their digital citizenship to use social media. That's so exciting that they had such great feedback from the Twitterverse out there. What were some of the responses that your kids got, and what were their reactions to it?
Well, I think they were just so surprised. Like, so some of them, I mean, and they were basic grade 1 and grade 2 survey questions, like, what kind of pizza do you like? And they had choices. I think in some they were surprised. They picked the sports that they figured that everybody would want, and they got a lot of others because they were sports they never even thought about. That grown-ups responded that they'd like tennis or they like golf, where my kids wanted to know if it was soccer or baseball or hockey. So, and as a Canadian, hockey's a really big deal, and they were surprised that a lot of that or sports that we are or baseball that were not as common. So just those kind of things, they always are surprised when they don't get what they think they would get.
Yeah, there's nothing like having an authentic audience and being able to really apply that then to real-world experiences. So that's really cool. So I know that you have many methods to stay connected to students and parents, and you use a lot of technology in your classroom. And I know that you've been using Remind too. So what's one way that you've been using Remind, and how has it made an impact in your classroom?
Remind has been a lifesaver for us because my kids have agendas or planners that they write in daily, but there are so many different activities that go on in my school that the reality is my kids can only write a few, a sentence, maybe two, and that's pushing it. But with Remind, I can actually add so much more information. I can remind the parents if notices have gone home, just those little things, thank them for the field trip that we've gone on, the parents that have driven, and it's just a really easy communication tool for us. And I know that if I remember something at midnight on a Tuesday, that I can have it scheduled to go for 8 a.m. the next morning. And my parents they know when they get that text at 8 in the morning that there's a message, that there's probably something from me and something to do with the class, and they love that. So the librarian loves it because our library books are always on time, because I can pre-schedule those messages so that the parents know they don't need another reminder. They know there's one coming. So yeah, it's been really helpful.
And that's really great that you're able to reach parents where they are, because I know so many times that people are busy and they're going back in between sports practice and school and all so many different activities. So it's nice that you can reach parents where they are.
Yeah.
So I know since you're in the younger grades, sometimes teachers that are just starting out with technology can be a little hesitant to get started and might not know. So do you have any sort of advice to give primary school teachers who are just getting started with using technology with younger students?
I think the most important thing is to really start small. I mean, I often present, and when I present, I'm like, don't do everything that I do, just pick one little thing. And I mean, it really is, or reaching out for support. So if there's somebody that for example, you've never used Twitter and you want to know, feel free to contact me or contact any teacher who's using it already. But really just one small step, and I always say one small step takes you along your journey. It isn't about getting to the finish line in one step. I mean, for me, it's been a really slow transformation, and one small step makes me go, oh, I could do that. Maybe I'll try this. Oh, I could do that. Maybe I'll try this. Or, oh, I didn't like that. And then you try another way. And that's the beauty of technology. There's so many different access points, and you can get in where you're most comfortable. And it could be as simple as doing what you do non-digitally and just adding that digital piece. Instead of drawing with crayon and paper, they're drawing on a drawing app on an iPad or something. So there's a ton of different entry points, and not to think that you have to do all of it. And I guess the big point is just to start small, start where you're most comfortable, and ask for help. And don't be afraid to ask for help. There's lots of us that are willing to help out.
Thanks so much for sharing that. I know it can be a little daunting sometimes, and you might feel isolated in your classroom, but there's a whole professional learning network out there that is always willing to help. So speaking of that, it looks like we're running out of time, but for those teachers who would like to contact you, how can they reach out to you on Twitter?
My Twitter handle is @KLirenman, so KLIRENMAN. And if you just Google Karen Lirenman, all my resources will show up. I will show up, I promise.
Great, so thank you so much. Thanks again for tuning in to Teacher Tip Tuesday, and thanks again to Karen. If you have any questions about this interview, you can always tweet at us. We are at RemindHQ on Twitter, and we're on Facebook at facebook.com/RemindHQ. And be sure to include the hashtag #TeachTues, so that's TEACHTUES. If you would like to be interviewed or have your class featured, be sure to reach out to us on social media. I'm Clara Galan, and I'm on Twitter at Miss Clara Galan, and I'm signing off from Remind in San Francisco. Be sure to tune in next week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. PST, for some more great teacher tips.